I'm a little worried today is going to seem negative compared to some of the recent ones, but I think it's one of the things that helps us dig underneath and find the real positives through the change we can employ when we realize that many complaints are excuses. That the things we complain about often aren't really the issue. And the way that I'm seeing this, the way I'm coming from here, there have been a number of occasions where in the business I run, and articles I've written, and sites I've run, podcasts, etc., I've received some complaints. And when I fixed the things that people complained about, it didn't actually change their behavior. It didn't actually help their situation. So just an easy example of this, because now years ago, I don't know if it's going to be taken personally, even if the person found this. So GAM Keto Club meets every single week online on Sunday, 11:30 a.m. every single week, and has for years. I think we'll occasionally have one holiday off time period, late winter, etc. Do it by video instead. Now, speaking of video, so we record those. Since a bunch of our members don't attend those meetings live, at least any given one, they instead catch the video. Now, the videos used to have about 2 days of turnaround time between when I'd record it and when the video would get added to our sort of internal stack for people to review. Somebody had said, well, the reason why they're not participating is because there was too much turnaround time. It took 2 days before they could see that video. So I reprioritized some things, updated my schedule, I moved some stuff around, and now I get the videos out the same day, less than 12 hours later, sometimes 6 hours later, than the meeting, so that they still have time to catch it earlier in the week. And the person still didn't ever do anything, they just kind of went about their way. It's actually been the case now for a number of different things, where someone said long ago that they would attend our meetings and only the leads would speak. Well, so because of that, we added to the end of our meetings this thing called How Was Your Week? Where club members go around and everyone gets a chance to kind of speak up to what they've been up to in their lives. So everyone's speaking at every single meeting that they choose to attend. And once again, the person who had made that comment, even though we fixed the thing to address that complaint, still didn't participate and went about their merry way. And I'm saying this not to blame those people, nor am I saying it to deflect that it is worthwhile as a business or as a content creator to take feedback and try to reincorporate it into improvements, because these are benefits that my other people who are constructive, participating, active members in our organization are enjoying the benefits of. They like having the meetings videos available sooner. They like the How Was Your Weeks. But it's realizing that the source of the complaints were people who were really digging for an excuse. Because what I figured out was when I fixed the thing they complained about, well, they just found some other excuse. Or they just stopped trying to excuse it and just decided, okay, well, I'm not going to do anything. And that's not even necessarily a criticism of those people. But the reason I mention this today is because it's a situation where sometimes there's things in our lives that we let hold us up because we focus on, well, if such and such was different, then, I'd be doing better, or I'd be creating more, I'd be doing more, I'd be finishing more projects, I'd be whatever the thing is we're trying to achieve, then I would be running my blog, then I'd be making YouTube videos, whatever. If the barrier actually gets removed, oftentimes people figure out, well, that wasn't actually holding them back. They were pinning that as a thing which they didn't perceive being changeable, and yet here they are. And examples where I've seen this in the independent games world, is somebody who, for example, used to feel like, oh, okay, well, they're indie creators and they're struggling, and the reason why they're not making more stuff is because they're having to balance all this contract work and so on. If they didn't have to do that, well, then they could be way more prolific. And then they have a game that did exceptionally well, out of proportion, knocked it out of the park. It's rare, but it happens. And then suddenly they've got kind of career reshaping wealth and a different set of problems that go with that. And they certainly have not been more prolific. If anything, they've kind of hidden off to the shadows when they realized that it wasn't really the case that balancing contract work, etc., was limiting their output. If anything, maybe there's something else going on where the momentum was feeding back into it, or the urge to overcome that, or the desire to break free from that, or something else about that mechanism and the relationship to it was playing a role in the kind of content they created, or the headspace they're in when they create it. And I mention this again in case it might help situations where you feel like there's things in your life that you are targeting as, well, if this was different, if I didn't have a day job, if I didn't have to, all these other responsibilities, if I didn't have to do these other things, well, then I could do this thing that has been having to be put off. Or back burner, lower priority. And the other way we can kind of see through those kind of things, as I bring up, just because I got plenty of examples in my life, people I work with, is that there's almost always somebody else in that exact same situation or worse in terms of their time obligations. People who also have day jobs or work overtime at their jobs or are juggling multiple contract things and the stress that comes with that, or raising kids, or are going to full-time classes, who are still outside of that doing the thing somehow. And knowing that that's going on helps us do away with this idea that the reason I'm not doing it is because, well, I have to do these other things. So does everybody. And seeing through those, instead of asking why can't I do it, it starts getting us to focus on, like the sharing the positivity video. Okay, well, if someone else is doing it, how can I? What can I do that I'm not doing, that they're not doing? And it puts us back in control of it. It puts us back to our actions, our choices, our thinking, rather than trying to pin it on something external, which, like I say, often if that excuse is removed, many times you figure out it wasn't really a limiter to begin with. That's it for the day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have another video for y'all soon.